everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the mono green super stompy, super scaly type deck where we get to play one creature, play lands. Our creatures with landfall grow way too large that our opponent can't possibly beat it. And we're going to start off with two enablers here being Bristly Bill and Traveling Chocobo. These cards work very well in tandem with how our landfall works. With Bristly Bill spreading around counters, and then the Traveling Chocobo obviously doubling everything and then allowing us to play off the top. But for our 3 game enders, we are going to talk about Baby Chocobo, Lockhart, and the Hydra real quick. The Baby Chocobo is just a very early good threat that they constantly have to block over and over again. Tifa Lockhart doubles its power every turn, so we make about 3 land drops, especially with the fetch lands. Most likely it's going to be swinging for lethal. And Mossborn Hydra, in the video today, we do have a turn 3 lethal with it, so be on the lookout for that. And with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the games. Alright, we go first. Our hand is a little less than desirable, but on the play I'll keep. We do get to kind of really keep a good hand around this if we're lucky. It looks like maybe we have a mirror situation here. Play Bristly Bill. If it lives, we're in a really good spot. If it doesn't, then obviously we fall a little short. It looks like dinos. We're going to have a really good chance to go over the top of this deck. Let's play a Chocobo. Let's play here. Trigger both of these. I will let Chocobo grow a little bit larger. And I will attack with a Bristly Bill, because I can always search after this. If they double block, of course. That hits. We're all fine here. We can look to play this afterward as well. An interesting spot. The hard-hitting question will be nice. Now, it does deal... Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So, this does mean our creatures aren't going to fight. So, if they do play like a larger creature here, for example, that with Ward 2 on it. Ooh, hiccup. Doesn't land from them. So, the problem is, do we just like... bully both of these out of the way? Should I tutor or fetch here? And I think the answer is yes. Go and grab a land. Where do I want to put this counter? Bristly Bill, maybe? Yeah, this will get a counter anyway, so Bristly Bill's probably the option. Pass up here. Oh, man. What to do here? I obviously want to answer this, but I do think to some extent it might just be the answer to hit this, hit this. That puts them getting 2 mana, 3, 4 mana, 5 mana, 6 mana. So a Carnosaur is an option. But does this land enter on tab? Chain creature attacks. Then if there are 3 more, there's library for 2 basic lands. Put them on the battlefield tapped. So it is 2. So maybe that'll force them to block. I don't know. This is a weird choice, huh? Go here. Let's go. Although with how large this creature is going to get, I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. Really what they put into play. Gonna get 2 more counters, so it'll be fine. Then we have the Snakeskin Veil. Because the thing is, to say they tap out to play like something large, right? We can fight the bigger thing out of the way, and then we can also still fight the Raptor out of the way because of all the extra damage that we have. Now that is a good one. Don't get me wrong, that's good. No attack here, sure. Traveling Chocobo. Might just make it good enough anyway. Oh, wait, hey, yo. What a play here, huh? Bristler? Bristler. We're gonna have to basically block anyway. Let's go, and there's a land on top. Let's go here, here to here, I guess. Now they'll gain the life and draw the card here, which does suck, but we are still going to force them to draw. Do things that way. Attack. They have to be very careful because a crack land here does put 4 counters on a chocobo. Yeah. No block at all here is interesting. Grow chocobo a little bit so we can go a little bit wider. And then we're not going to let... We have a land on top, so we should do this one. That off the battlefield so we don't have to worry about it. We still have the Snakeskin Veil open. Now we'll end the turn here. It's a bit weird. They still have a ton of mana. Atali's still as scary as always. That's not as scary, of course. It is a super sweet deck our opponent's playing, and honestly, makes me happy. But yeah, we're going to play this land. There's going to be a double Bristly Bill trigger, and then we're going to put all the counters on Chocobo, and then we're going to double everything with Bristly Bill after fighting one more creature out. So they'll basically have to block everything. There's literally nothing they can do. All these come through. Counter here. Counter here. Large, large, large. Hard hitting question. Here to here. Then obviously we have a lethal attack here. So they have to block everything because Bristly Bill is such a threat. And if they miss blocking everything, then they just kind of die. Because even this one that's not technically large enough because it only doubles the counter. So this would get 3 more. And it would go to 9. We would just then Snakeskin Veil it because that gives it an extra counter before. Because obviously that would just be the end of the game. We don't have to hold this anymore. But yeah, what an interesting matchup to go against the big creature deck. Thankfully, we weren't monstrous raging over them like oftentimes we had to in the past. But here, we don't get to. Interesting hand here. We have the Snakeskin Veil, which is pretty good. All right, opponent. I see we're both gamers, huh? So what we're going to do is we're going to play land, play Lockhart, and go that route and hold up a Snakeskin Veil. But we see our opponent's pretty dedicated here. Worst case scenario is they make this Chocobo fight or deal damage to my Landware Elves, and they don't. Okay, sweet. We get the better card of both of our... No, relax. You calm down. I understand you're in a deck with a lot of creatures that swing very, very big. But you need to knock it off, dude. You're not that guy, pal. What's the plan here? We play Bristly Bill. We play Evolving Wilds. We protect this, hopefully. Yeah. And the thing about this, though, is you have to remember that this is now a counter. So when we play Bristly Bill and play the land, it's going to go to 3, double up to 6, and then we'll sack the land. Oh, wait. We're looking good. Allegedly. Here's a Bristly Bill. Evolving Wild. Bristly Bill resolves, putting a counter there, going up to 6. Sacrifice here. Land come in. Bristly Bill put a counter, go up to 14. And it has 5 toughness, conveniently enough. They just take the damage. Okay. It's a 4/5. Now, do we need a way to, I don't know, maybe do anything else other than maybe play land? Maybe. Alright, we weirdly have the play that our opponent had last game, where we're going to probably play Chocobo early, and then just be sacking lands. Now, Escape Tunnel is a bit better than Evolving Wilds, so we'll play the Evolving Wilds first, because this Escape Tunnel can technically be used for something else. They play Landware Elves. Interesting. We go Evolving Wilds, like we just said. Go ahead and we crack Evolving Wilds because there's not really a reason not to here because they're not going to block regardless what we want them to do. We attack. Now, the thing is, we could technically have fought the Landware Elves, right? But then we lose to like a go for the third. We only have 1 creature. Our Snakeskin Veil is everything. And if they're Golgari elves, I'm going to be pumped. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Interesting. I have a feeling that they're just elves, which is cool. That's honestly super sick. Now, with this land draw, I do think it's play land, attack, and then honestly, I feel like it's double fight these to kind of lower their like value here. I almost feel like it has to be that. We'll see if they block. I doubt it. Yeah, and I think I'm just going to hit both of these. Obviously, I don't need a land. Double remove them. You know, the general consensus is always bolt a bird, which these would count as those, so getting them out of the way is the way to do it. They exile my land. Not really doing much with that, but it is what it is. Cut down, obviously not an answer. Glissa being a tough one for us to deal with. Kind of the thing I was afraid of. Play Traveling Chocobo here. Let us play Fable Passage. Put some extra counters here. Let's sacrifice this away. Then a basic forest. There's a Moss Born Hydra. Now, the main problem is using both my removal spells was probably a bad idea. Because obviously Gliss is so strong, and maybe one of these just didn't matter. But Gliss is a card that I kind of thought they were going to jam the turn before, but they went Landware Elves into Agatha's Soul Cauldron, which made me think they didn't have this card. Is there a Roots deck? Okay. I mean, I probably should have figured that out, but like at the same time, what? Okay. Now we're starting to see more of the deck here. They get back a creature. They make another dude, which is all good. What's our top card here? A Fable Passage. Play Hydra. This does have Trample, which is nice. Now, we're going to do something interesting here. We're going to... wait, that's going to double regardless, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, well, I mean, threaten like a lethal attack. Of course, they block. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. The idea, maybe I should have played this first. Because if I would have played this first and then played this, I would have the option to make it unblockable and then play the Fable Passage on the following turn. So if I would have played this first, or no, played this first and then played this, it would still be a 1-1. And then what I could have done is sacrifice this, making this unblockable for the turn, because it would still have the less than 2 power. Play the Fable Passage, double pump it, but you never know. Maybe they'll tap Glissa again and make that mistake, and it having Trample is obviously going to be huge. But who knows? Not me. They attack with Glissa though. Interesting. None of you are enchantments, right? They might help me out. No, I'm good. Glissa can hit me. You can move as many counters off that Hydra and stuff as you want. Alright, well, we're going to get to do it anyway. I think our opponent, unfortunately, weirdly made a mistake. Unless this wears away, but I can't imagine it does. Alt Tender, sure. They have 1 mana available. Cut down as an option. So I'm going to be able to grow up quite a bit here. On top, Snakeskin Veil. Double. So it's 4. If I sack, it goes to 8, goes to 16. And as you can tell, it's still unblockable. So we get to do a very sick play here. You cannot block it because you made its power less. And I have a Snakeskin Veil to give it protection. And the cut down doesn't do it anymore. So I'll put in a land. It'll go up to 8 and then to 16. So unfortunately for our opponent, and we put a Snakeskin Veil back on top. Okay. Sweet. I think they can gain 1 more life here, which I can weirdly outvalue with the Snakeskin Veil. Oh, no, they don't get that ability, though. You can sack it, but they don't get to gain life ability. It doesn't have haste, so it can't be activated. Yeah, I don't think so. They needed Molt Tender to be in there. Personally, I don't think they get that option. Attacking with Glissa to remove counters on a creature that they could have just blocked with Glissa was definitely not the play. As our opponent's finding that out now. And with no out and no way around, the Mossborn Hydra finds the lethal. Very sweet, very cool way to win. It's kind of an awkward way to win, but we did it regardless. This is a weird one. Going first, I'll try... We can't always have a Snakeskin Veil, right? Because if we always have one, like, how lucky we would be. And we'll go for Tifa Lockhart, and then we'll hopefully have the Escape Tunnel be fine. With Escape Tunnel entering with this trigger on a stack, technically we could sack it, giving our creature protection. Ooh, Shelter by Ghost going to be the option, I guess. Hopefully they don't have it, and we're fine here. Say hopefully. Although Ethereal Armor is probably good enough. A Shelter is probably going to do everything, yeah. If we had a Snakeskin Veil, we'd have waited an extra turn, but just hitting another land here almost makes me want to just concede. We'll take 1 more draw. We could have deck thinned, but I don't think we have the option at this point. Bro, put a Shelter on there. Yeah, I mean, we have to have a creature, and then also we just lose everything. Sure, you have it. Literally, I would argue a absolute counter deck to what we're playing. We won 3 in a row, and then the counter deck comes out, so... I don't know, Arena. I'm a little suspicious. That's all I'm saying. All right, here we go first. We have Chocobo, Lockhart, and a couple 3-drops, but the Snakeskin Veil being very good. Got to play a land first. Lotus Petal, Chocobo, play land, go. Oh, Landwar Elves actually might be better. Just because it gives us that, like, protection that we're looking for. Let's go to combat, though. Actually, I'm fine with that, I think. What? It takes 1 counter away? Sure, man. That's the use of that I would use. Yeah. Nice. A land is huge here. How do we want to play this, though? The little part of me wants to just go for the Hydra. But I feel like that's wrong. But it also feels so good. Because what? They play a Vivi next turn. I'm feeling pretty solid. Into the Flood Mall's a 2 of. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm cool with that. And we're also going to do a little bit of shenanigans. We're going to hold the Fable Passage like we always have the option to sack it and do it. Now, we all know the land enters tap, but our opponent might not. Sure. Uh-huh. It also helps us play around like a Burst Lightning, right? They do nothing. Oh, let's go. All right. My opponent is most likely dead now. Mossborn Hydra going to do the absolute craziest thing. Hopefully our opponent does not leave. Yeah, we can just go ahead and pop this now. Because if we rip another Fable Passage, having it enter untapped would be cool. All right, lands. Enter. We take our draw for turn. Bushwhack. Sweet. We'll go find a basic land. We will grab a basic land. We will play a basic land. Our creatures will grow once again. We will then play the Spring Bloom Druid. We will sacrifice a land. We will go find 2 more basic lands. allowing our Hydra to grow from 8 to 16 to 32. There you go. There you go. 32 of them. 32 big ones. They block accordingly, and it does not matter. The Hydra crushes the game because it is an absurd card. It is actually absurd how good this card can be, but it was just so lacking back when obviously mono red was too strong for it. But with that said, we win a very quick one against the #1 deck in the meta, and we'll definitely take that. Opponent goes first, but I think we have a good way to play out this hand. It's like really weird because Landwar Elves I would like to play on one. And then, like, to some extent, I want to play the Chocobo, but I know I'm supposed to probably play this Chocobo. Now we're playing against Jeskai nonsense, probably. I just got... Well, honestly, it's probably better to play this, keep the protection up, play this, and then just use it value. Yeah. No blocks, obviously. Not that our opponent was going to really make any other kind of exception there. Personally, Bill, you just had to make the weirdest... like draw that we could have, huh? So we go Chocobo, Evolving Wild. Just go ahead and sack this, get it out of the way. You know, just sit here, have a good time, play a forest. Little Chocobo go up. But now we can play Traveling Chocobo, and then we can play the Forest, triggering this one twice, or maybe a land off the top. And then we can use Bristly Bill as a finisher. That allows us to hold up our Snakeskin Veil for the entire time. A second Mako, sure. Should be, I would say, should be a pass here, but... Now, obviously, they could have a bounce spell, but, I mean, I'm going for this, regardless. Sure. Play land. Little Chocobo goes up by 2. He's a crazy lad. Look at him. We got a baby bird flapping his little wings. It is like a very cute art, objectively. This is like what Australians say like kangaroos are. They'll just like kick you very hard. Kangaroos apparently have really big claws that'll just like rip you open for the most part. Unfortunately, we don't get to do it. But look how big his little claws are, dude. That thing gonna mess you up, dog. Don't meet that thing in a back alley. It'll get you. I don't even know what I'm saying. Interesting hand here. I'm not like a huge fan of it, but we're gonna try. This is one of those hands where like any card gets us pretty much there. Okay. Okay. By any card, I didn't mean 3 Landwar Elves, but we will hold up a lot of mana. Shelter by Ghost is possible. Doubt it. Yeah, there's a Mentor. Sure. Now, if there's a matchup our creatures can definitely outgrow theirs, this is the matchup, right? But hopefully... Bad. I don't have a way to give any of these a counter. At this point, Bristly Bill might even be the best card just because I can start spreading stuff around. Yeah. That's 7 big ones. We need a good threat now or never. And we draw another land. Okay. I have to deck thin the best I physically can. I need to grab 2. You grab 2 more. I mean, all I've found is the ramp cards. Like, one piece, I feel like we're fine. Hop to it. Gonna make that super massive. We'll just go ahead and concede. Unfortunately, just only 1 toughness and power creatures, which is what this deck will just do sometimes. Alright. Alright, we can keep this for sure. This is the epitome of where, like, a Mossborn Hydra on 2 can absolutely dominate, because then we can attach this. It'll go up, especially if we find a land. There's a white source. Oh, escape tunnel. Huge. That's double land draw. Plus this, which will trigger. Is that actually lethal? Please don't have get lost. Just tap out. Tap out. Tapped out. Okay, sweet. Math time! Oh, and there's a Chocobo, which is huge. Obviously, temporary lockdown is not a card that I have to worry about. So we go Chocobo because I might as well get value off all my cards here. We play here. Hydra gets the counter. We do Ordeal. I don't think it matters which way the counter goes on. Yeah, it doesn't matter which way. This goes up another deal. 4, we attack. Go up to 5. Goes to 10 and 20. Playing this was a mistake. I should have attacked with the Land War Elves. Oops. Alright. He doesn't even block. Alright. Yeah, turn 3 lethal with the Moss Hydra. Oh boy, what a game to end on, huh? I feel like that should be it. Well, here we are. The deck is pretty sick, and honestly, thankfully, at least for one day, I didn't feel like I wasted my rares and mythics. Because this deck is so expensive in terms of crafting material for something that is, I don't know how good this is. Obviously a common or uncommon. I don't know exactly how good this deck is. Also, this card rotates, but let's be honest, we just play another copy of this and it doesn't really matter. Sorry, I about threw up just now, but we don't really have to play this one. We can just play something else. It's not a big deal. That's why it said 2 of. But overall, I mean, it did incredibly well. Mossborn Hydra just showed why it was so feared when it got printed. But I think the big thing we have to look out for is there was also another spoiler today or yesterday that somebody sent me. I actually have it on my phone. Unfortunately, I won't be able to pull it up on the screen because it's not official, so I don't want to really show the card if it's not real. But apparently, there's a frenzied card. It's a 2 green mana, 3/2. It says it can't be countered. It has trample and haste. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Combat damage can't be prevented. Reading that makes me think that that's not a real card. I cannot believe that they gave us a green 2 mana haster that is just uncounterable, makes things uncounterable, and has trample and haste. That just seems like absurdly pushed. So I don't know if that's technically real. So I would definitely wait till that actual spoiler came out. But if that is this, it works phenomenally in this deck because of the fact that Bristly Bill can move counters around on it. Making all of our stuff uncounterable just allows us to have a little bit of extra edge. And one of the main problems with this deck that I run into is the fact that you don't have creatures with haste. So once you kind of get pushed back, you're kind of done for the rest of the game, right? You don't have like the burn spell, like Burst Lightning to close it out, or you don't have like Lightning Strikes or Helixes or any type of thing like that. Because all of our things are going to enter the battlefield, must stay there for a turn, and then hopefully we can win through some other means. But with all that said and done, I hope you all enjoyed the video today. It was a lot more fun than the first time I played it, because the first time I played this, I just kept running into the Manifold Mouse shenanigans, and eventually I'll stop bringing up the banned deck. But I've been playing Arena for like 3 years straight. That deck just made me so mad. Honestly, Kamano still made me way more mad than that deck did, because Kamano just, some reason, just got under my skin. With all that said and done, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.